In this example, we're going to look at an application that involves decimals. So let's get our highlighter ready. Notice we have places for our given and our goal. We're going to highlight those and then fill those in. We're going to show our math work, do a check to make sure we can verify our answer and that it makes sense, and write our final answer as a complete sentence. So let's read the problem. In preparation for mailing a package, you place the item on your digital scale and obtain the following readings: 6.51 ounces, 6.52, and 6.60. Now here's the question, so I'm going to get the green highlighter ready. What is the average of these weights? And also notice we're asked to round to the nearest hundredth of an ounce. Okay. So the given, we've been writing or highlighting in yellow as we go, so we're given that we had 3 readings of 6.51 ounces, 6.52 ounces, put little lines through my Z's so they don't look like 2's, and 6.60 ounces. Our goal is to find the average of these 3 readings. Okay. So recall that the average is, in general, to find an average, you add up the numbers and divide by, I'll say, the amount of numbers, or else it's the number of numbers, which can be confusing. So here we want to add our 3 numbers together first. So let's do our math work. 6.51, 6.52, and 6.60. Let's add them up by place value. Notice I lined up the decimals. We have 3, 6 carry the 1, and 19. Okay. So that's the sum of the 3 readings. Okay. Now to find the average, we need to divide by the amount of numbers, and there were 3 numbers, so we need to divide this by 3. So our second step is 19.63 divided by 3. And we can use long division here. We're asked to round to the nearest hundredth of an ounce, so I'm going to use the calculator. Reading that, I think that the decimals are going to go on for a while, so you should be able to do this by hand, but a lot of times in applications we'll just use a calculator for these. So 19.63, I divide that by 3, and this is my result. So we're asked to round to the nearest hundredth of an ounce. Well, hundredths is the second decimal place. Notice the thousandths place to the right is 3, so that means we're going to round down to 6.54 ounces. 6.54 ounces. And notice I made these, instead of an equal sign, I made them squiggly because we did an approximation. So when we approximate a number, this isn't exactly equal to 6.54. It was equal to this. Okay, so I didn't want to say that it was equal. It's approximate, and then we can write that as our answer. Okay, but before we do, let's just make a check. Now, checking can be hard. We can, one way to check is to redo the whole process. But one way, I think the best way to do this is to think, does this make sense? Okay, so does the average weight, given these weights being 6.54, make sense? And I claim it does because it's around, it approximates all of these numbers, it's close to them. If I had gotten 18 ounces, okay, I would have been concerned because how can the average or an approximation of these 3 numbers be bigger than all of them? Or if we got 2, that would be a red flag because how could the average of 3 things that are over 6 be 2? Okay, so you can say 6.54 is close in value. And again, this isn't the only way to check it. It's just one way. To all three numbers. Now I'm going to put a little check mark to see that I checked that. Okay, so this justification, this answer could actually be wrong. Okay, this justification doesn't prove it, but it's a way of checking that our answer is reasonable, and that's important. So our final answer is a complete sentence. You want to look back to your goal. Our goal was to find the average of these three readings, and you can use that as the start of your sentence. The average of these three readings is 6.54 ounces. Okay, and in general with application problems, it's nice to write your answer as a complete sentence so it makes sense. If you just said 6.54, you know, if you didn't put the ounces, is it pounds? And here you're describing exactly what you found. So you're summarizing your problem solving with a complete sentence.